with Dustins Stout. Today we're going to talk about warfare plugins, in particular plugins, like what the heck is a plugin and how do you use it to your advantage in your business. And I wanted to share with you guys that I'm going to be speaking at an event called Massive Success Breakthrough. If you're interested in attending, please go to attendmsb.com. I'm going to be speaking for the first time on a big stage, so I'm really excited to do that and would love to have you there with me. If you know anybody that has a business and they use WordPress or they're interested in using WordPress and learning about plugins, please share this video with them or share it on your timeline. So with that all said, let's get right on into it. And I'm here with Dustin Stout. Dustin is the co-founder of Warfare Plugins. It's a WordPress plugin company where he oversees social media and content marketing initiatives, branding, and product development. His blog, Dustin, D-U-S-T-N, no I, .tv, was named one of the best social media blogs of 2017 by Social Media Examiner and continues to be a growing resource for bloggers, digital entrepreneurs, and marketers. Welcome, Dustin. I'm so excited to have you here. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today.
The first question I have, warfare. How did the name come about? That's the first question.
So that's a question that a lot of people have. Sorry, I'm going to change my laptop here a little bit.
There you go.
Sun's coming down through the big window up there, and it's giving a glare. So when we were first coming up with the idea of the plugin, it was myself and my two co-founders, and we really wanted this plugin to happen for a number of reasons, mostly because the other social sharing plugins out there on the market sucked. They were terrible, bulky, complicated, killed your site's load time, and they didn't do the things we wanted them to do. So me being a social media marketer and consultant, blogger, I knew the things that needed to go into a social sharing plugin to make it work. And why exactly did we want it to do these extra things? Well, it's because we're fighting a battle to get attention online. And I have a good friend named Ryan Hanley who actually wrote a book called Content Warfare, Winning the Battle for Attention Online. So it was along those same lines, around that same time, that we were creating social warfare, that it just made sense. On top of that, our lead developer co-founder, Nicholas, he's actually in the U.S. military. He's an active Army Reserve soldier, and that kind of tied into his what he does for a living. Is he fights for the freedoms of our country, and so in the same way we were fighting to win that attention for our users.
Well, thank him for his service, because we definitely need that, and very appreciative of that. Absolutely. And so that's interesting, the way you come up with the name. I love hearing how people come up with the names of their company. And if you're watching and you have any questions for us, please post them in the comments below. I'll make sure to ask Dustin while we're live. That would be awesome. And if you are watching the replay, type replay below. And if you have questions, we can get Dustin to answer those later. Okay, so that's awesome. I love the story of how you guys came up with the name Warfare Plugins. So now Warfare Plugins is a social sharing plugin. So how did you come about with Warfare Plugins? Like, what is the solution that you're solving for people?
There's a number of things that we're solving. Like I said before, when we first created this plugin, it was more out of our own need. Like I was a web designer. I used to build websites for other people. Now I just kind of build my own. And my buddy Nick, the lead developer, he is a developer. He develops websites. So he's sort of the back end guy. I'm sort of the front end guy. And then our third partner, Jason, he owns a web development company. So he employs a number of designers, developers, and we all build websites for a living. And all website designers and developers know back in 2013, 2014, up to that point, social sharing plugins sucked. And the biggest area that they sucked in was design. They didn't look good for the most part. And also in page load time. So a lot of savvy website owners know that how fast your website loads is a huge factor in whether or not people stick around and whether or not Google ranks you well. So it can harm your SEO if your pages are loading too slowly. So we wanted to create a plugin to solve that problem. We wanted it to be lightning fast load time. And we wanted it to, me in particular, I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted to be able to customize it to my site's design. And I wanted to have all these special features that we all sort of came up with, knowing the social media industry, that made it more effective when someone shares. I didn't want someone to just share the article and, share a link in a headline. As a marketer, I know that the way that you write things, the way that you share things on certain networks makes a huge difference in whether or not people actually click on that share or interact with that share. So I wanted to build tools.
Before you go any further on that, so wait, let me show me. I'm asking you a question. So how do you know which platforms have different sharing? Like the audience is totally different on all the platforms, right?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
So how do you know what to implement on which platform? And Marilyn, we will get to your question in just a minute, but how do you know which kind of, sharing to implement on which platforms? Or is that, you just leave that up to you?
So you kind of have to know your audience on the platform. For example, Twitter, they have certain limitations, right? Twitter has a 280 character limitation. You can't share anything that's more than 280 characters. So that was a limitation out of the gate that we can accommodate for, and we can, make sure people know that when they're crafting the tweet that people will share, that's one of our features, is when someone hits your tweet button, you can actually pre-write the tweet that goes out. And so we make sure that you can keep it within that character limit. Another example is Pinterest. So if you're a savvy Pinterest user, you know that the most successful Pinterest pins are tall. They're not short and wide because the interface makes them seem small. They're tall. So you kind of have to have a certain degree of savvy on each network platform. But within social warfare, we give you prompts. So for example, there's a Pinterest upload section in the blog post, and it tells you the ideal Pinterest image is 735 pixels wide by 1112 or 1102 pixels tall. So it kind of gives you some guidelines in that area.
Oh, oh my gosh, it's so much information, that's for sure. Well, now Marilyn asked this question. I'm glad she asked it because I was going to ask it as well, is how does one use a plugin? And are plugins only on WordPress, or are there plugins on other different
So they might be called different things on different platforms. The content management system or platform that we build for is WordPress. It's the internet's most popular way to build a website. I think it's somewhere around 27% of the internet is using WordPress.
Wow.
Like Disney and huge companies. Facebook's blog is actually is powered by WordPress.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's the most. In my experience, some people might debate me on this, but I think it's the most user-friendly way to build a website that's, multifunctional. And a plugin is simply, think of it like an app for your smartphone. So your phone comes with a number of apps and functions, but it doesn't have all the functions that you want. So you have to go out and you have to find an app to upload onto your phones to give you that extra function. A plugin for WordPress is the same way. WordPress doesn't come with all the things. But if there are certain things you want to do, odds are somebody's built a plugin for it that you can download and add that functionality or add those features. And that's what a plugin is. And our plugin is a WordPress specific.
Okay, so if I have my website built and there's something I'm like, oh, I wish it did this, it's possible there's a plugin out there for me to do what I want. And if not, then I could reach out to a developer to create that plugin that other people can use as well, right?
Yeah, that's one of the beauties of WordPress because it's an open source, meaning anybody can create for it and add to it. It's a very open marketplace, and it's the most widely used open source marketplace that there is for content management systems. Some website builders, like say Squarespace or Wix, you kind of just have to hope they build the thing that you want. And if they don't, you can't just go hire a developer to build it for you, which is another reason I love WordPress. It's an open system rather than a closed system.
Okay, I like that because I know that Wix, they have free websites, but you are very limited to what you can do.
Yeah, you can only build using the tools that they have built for you.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's talk about warfare plugins and precise, like exactly what it is it do. I'm going to bring up your website right here, and let me know. Can you see it on the screen?
I cannot now. There it is. Now I do.
Okay, cool. Because I want you to maybe explain like what we're looking at right now, and if you want to tell me to go click around somewhere else, I'll be happy to do that.
Sure. So we actually have 3 products. Our flagship product is Social Warfare, which is a free plugin. You get a number of features baked into the free plugin, and for most sites, it's all you need. But if you want sort of that advanced functionality, you know, the customized shares, the more buttons, a lot more styling options and customization options and optimization options, then you would need to buy the Pro add-on. So it's kind of like buying a car that has all the standard features, but you want the extra features, so you can buy the Pro add-on, which adds all the advanced features. And that's sort of the difference between Social Warfare and Social Warfare Pro there. We also have a third product called the Frame Buster, which is actually built into Social Warfare, but it's so important to us for people to have this. So we removed it from, you don't have to have Social Warfare in order to get this function. And I'll explain it the best way I can.
And I see it's free. I mean, it's free. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
It's also free, and it started out of a conversation that a social media post where somebody was outraged about something, and we were outraged about it. 200 comments later, we built this thing. And so there are tools out there. You may have heard of Sniply, or Linkus, or Startify. These tools which allow you to share other people's content, but also put your own call to action at the bottom. You could essentially put your own advertisement over top of somebody else's website. And in a sense, you can maybe get some traffic back to your site from all the other people's content that you're sharing. Now, the intention of that seems pure. I'm sharing somebody else's website. I want to have an opportunity to convert that traffic to me because I'm sharing that link. Well, some people don't like that you're advertising on their property. They equate it to as if you were to walk up into somebody else's yard and plant a sign advertising yourself in their yard. And this is very offensive to some people. The idea that MLMs and people who they may not approve of selling on their site can add a call to action to their site. So we built this Frame Buster to basically say, look, if you don't want people adding these calls to action or using Sniply or other similar tools on your site, just activate Frame Buster, and every time somebody visits your site from a Sniply link or a Startify link or anything similar, that user will get redirected to the real version of your site without that CTA. So effectively saying nobody can advertise on your site without your permission.
So what if you do want some people to advertise but not others? Can you pick and choose? Like, are you blocking some, what have you?
Yeah, we can't really differentiate between that because that would be, that would involve us like having some sort of API access to the just to kind of differentiate who's who and what things. So we just made it a catch-all. If you don't want those content pirates, is what we call them internally. Tracking your content and advertising their own products and services without your permission, then you just activate this, and nobody can do that.
And do you guys use Frame Buster yourselves?
We do, absolutely.
Okay. There you go. Sold on that right there.
Yeah, because it's built into Social Warfare. So anytime you activate Social Warfare, you can actually activate Frame Buster as well.
Okay, and let's talk about social warfare. Well, first of all, these the icons that you guys have here, I know I've seen these on a lot of blogs. And so I have seen that people are using these. So that's cool. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I've seen those before. So that was awesome. And then I saw, okay, I'm going to try to download it and see what happens. It was very simple. And that was the first thing for me is I need the ease because although I'm computer literate, I'm not the smartest when it comes to this kind of stuff. So it was very, very easy to use. So I really appreciate that. That's awesome. You guys try to make sure of that, right? Easy for people.
Yeah, if it's not easy to use, then what's the point of it? I'm a very minimal person. I'm a very simplistic person. I don't like having to tinker and tweak things. I want something. I'm an Apple user. So I just want to open the box and have the thing work the way that I expect it to work. And so that's how we wanted to go about building a product that anybody could use. Anybody could just upload and have it work right away, right out of the box.
That's cool. Now we have, let's see, Salvatore. I'm not sure how he says it. He uses it and he loves it. And then we've got Shelly.
Right.
She uses it for her clients' websites.
Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
Oh, you know Shelly? Hi,
Yeah.
Shelly. Hi, Salvatore. Hi, Veronica. Let's see, she's a brilliant plugin and highly recommended. So there you guys go. Just try it out. They've got the 2 free versions. And now, as far as the pro version, when would you say that it's time for somebody to upgrade to the pro version?
Well, if social sharing and social media traffic is an important piece of your website traffic strategy, then I'd say absolutely right away, because you want to be able to control what people are sharing and how they're sharing it. So if you have that intent to grow your social media traffic, that's when you should switch to the pro version. If all you really want is just some buttons there, just in case people want to share, and you're not really, if it's just a hobby, or if it's not really super important that you focus on your social media traffic, then the free version is just fine. But if it's time for you to take it up a notch and get that actual optimization in place, then you definitely want to upgrade to pro.
Okay, so that begs a good question I think it's a good question because it's for me. Okay, so me, for example, I have WordPress. I guess you could call me a stagnant WordPress user. I have my site. I rarely go to it and update anything. And so I use social media so much. So how can maybe you can share with me, what's the value of amping up my WordPress, maybe the blog, or what's the value of having a website anymore? Because so many people are going to social media. So maybe I'm totally wrong on this. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, so I was actually in Nashville last week talking with Michael Hyatt about this. I don't know if you've heard of Michael Hyatt.
Yes, and he interviewed you.
Yeah, he interviewed me, and that was one of the questions. Well, it was kind of similar to one of the questions that he asked, because he really talks about this a lot in his Platform University and in all his mentions of it. People have this false sense of security with social media, and I get this all the time, and nothing drives me more crazy than when I hear somebody who claims to be an expert in social media say, you don't even need a website anymore. All you need is a Facebook page. Well, newsflash, overnight, Facebook made some changes, and guess what they said? Facebook pages are no longer going to be featured in the newsfeed. So the idea that you focus more on social media rather than building what Michael Hyatt would call a home base, which is your blog or your website, is very dangerous. And just look at another example, 2 examples from this past year. I have friends who did really well on Vine. Vine was a great source of income for them. They became influencers. There was one guy who even got paid upwards of $17,000 just to do one Vine for Starbucks.
Whoa.
He built a very good living as an influencer on social media. But what happened to Vine? Twitter decided, we're going to shut it down. Then what happens to your audience? They're gone. You have no more audience. You have no more income. Same thing happened to Blab. I have a very good friend who had a super cool business strategy around Blab, a live streaming video platform. And he had all these plans in place. He started to build an audience. He had a regular show and didn't have a website. All he needed was a Blab, right? Because his Blab was doing great. Well, Blab decided to shut down one day, and his audience was gone along with it. So focusing on social media is like building your audience and building your platform on somebody else's lot, and they can kick you out at any given time. So the way to do any social media strategy is to use social media, grow it as a means to getting them onto your owned property, your website, your email list, most importantly, because nobody can change the algorithm on your website. Right? Nobody can change the rules on your email list. If you own it and you operate it, nobody else can change it on you. Nobody else can, to sweep the floor out from underneath you, so to speak.
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought of all that. So I'm glad I asked that question, because literally, and excuse me, the sun, as you can see, is like cutting my face in half. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So you can tell I have a blinds right there. But yeah, I'm so glad I asked that question, because really I haven't paid attention to my WordPress site because I'm not all that familiar with like how to do things quickly, and social media is like
Yeah.
bam, 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 right? So maybe I just need to amp it up and learn how to use it quickly, like I use my social media quickly, right?
And at the bare minimum, employ an email marketing system like a ConvertKit or a MailChimp, and use social media as the top of your funnel and promote your email list. And with MailChimp and ConvertKit, I know in particular, you can create landing pages. You don't even need a website. You can just share your landing page on your social accounts, get people to sign up to your email list, and at least then you're capturing those people's email address. Nobody's gonna stop using email anytime soon, no matter what the latest doom and gloom journalist wants to write about. Email lists are your most valuable asset. So use an email marketing system and use social media to get people on your email list. And that way, if Facebook disappears tomorrow, your audience, you still at least have some of them.
That's a good point. And yeah. Okay. I swear I'm going to get on it this week. I'm going to get right on it. Well, I like having the share button on there. I saw it on my website. I was like, well, that's so cool. I was all excited because I had your button on there. So I'll check that out a little bit more. But let's see what we got. Wait. Okay. Warfare Plugins. This is you. You said you do need a website, Dustin.
Yes, you do.
You do need a website. And then let's see. What do we have here?
Christine, one of our social media rock stars.
Hey, Christine. Okay, let's see. And then what else we have here? Shelly says you should always bring your activity back to what you own, your data, your list, your website. Good point. And, I got to admit that I've never even heard of Vine. So that's how fast it was, I guess. It's like, shoot, I had no idea what that one is. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, that's cool. So I want to talk about just briefly your blog, Dustin.tv. Put that up on the screen there, Dustin.tv. You want to tell us what we can find on your blog?
Yeah, so I, a number of years ago decided I wanted to get into the world of social media and figure it out. And so I started blogging about my discoveries. A few years later, people thought I really was onto something and started asking me to consult. So I really just blog about social media, how to get the most of social media. I blog about blogging because in my eyes, blogging, social media, owning a website are all very highly related. Like I said, social media, its only goal should be to get them onto your blog or onto your email list. And so I blog about all these things and share my discoveries, my failures, my findings. Okay. And that's where I put it all out there.
So what do you think about blogging on sites like there's medium.com, and then I'm assuming yours is on your WordPress site. And then what do you think about those other sites like that? Would you equate that to the same as like if Facebook disappears someday, if Twitter disappears someday?
Absolutely. Okay. I love Medium. I'm infatuated with how beautiful the design is and just the culture that's there. But in my eyes, it's just another social media network. It's just a long form social media network where people say a lot of things rather than, a few sentences. And so in my eyes, your most important content should always be on your home base. Whereas you use places like Medium or Blogger or Tumblr to reach an audience that may be not on your home base yet. They may not have been introduced to you. So just like Twitter, you use it to reach an audience that you've never met yet. And I've seen some success using Medium for that purpose. There's a very specific audience over there. They're looking for specific on-site types of content, and you use Medium to share your messages there, but get them over to your main property. And so you can capture them and not lose them.
So are you in the works of creating a beautiful blog plugin for WordPress?
You mean like a theme type of deal?
Yeah, I guess because Medium's is beautiful.
Yeah.
WordPress isn't all that great. Are you guys thinking of creating a plugin that'll be great for blogs?
So there's plenty of themes out there. So in WordPress, if you want your site to look a certain way, it's called a theme, whereas a plugin adds function, a theme adds styling.
Gotcha. Okay. To
the user experience. So I thought about making some WordPress themes before, but it's a lot of work.
Oh, is it?
And it's not something I'm interested in doing. But as far as the back end of WordPress goes, it could use a lot of work to make it more user friendly on the back end for the website's owners, and I know that they're making big steps in that direction. But as me personally, nah, I'm not that smart.
Well, you are just not in that area, right?
It's not in that area, right?
So what else can we share with the audience that I haven't touched on yet? Oh, I know. Oh, here's a question. You're gonna laugh at this question. Do you wear socks?
I do occasionally, and I actually am today.
You posted that on. I saw that somewhere. Where did was it on one of your blogs or something? Something about sometimes you wear socks, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, that's the beauty of working from home. Like, you don't really have to wear. And I live in Southern California as well, so that's short. And I really rarely need to even wear socks. But today it's a little chilly.
I'm wearing a shirt with no sleeves. I'm in San Diego, so
yeah,
it's beautiful today. Yeah. Now, how can somebody monetize their blog? I know that you're the blogging expert, right? So how can somebody monetize their blog?
Well, there's a number of ways. The most difficult way to do it is probably the most commonly touted. It's through AdSense, Google AdSense, putting advertising all over your blog. It's very difficult to monetize that way because you need a lot of web traffic. You can also use affiliate links, sign up for Amazon affiliates, or recommend products that have affiliate programs and get a small commission every time somebody uses your link to buy that. But again, you need a lot of traffic. And unless you're selling high or recommending high ticket items, it takes a lot of transactions to really make a living. For me, the easiest way to jump into monetization was consulting, sharing your expertise, and then letting people know, hey, you can buy some of my time and I'll answer your questions. Consulting is a very easy way to start. Making your own products instead of going through like an Etsy or something, just use your own website to sell your products. I mean, when we launched Social Warfare, had it not been for the audience that I built on my blog and the audience that my co-founders built with their social media presences, we wouldn't have had as successful launch. But I think we launched with something like 300 beta testers out of the gate. Wow. And within a year or so, had 2,000 active users. Wow. And a few years later, now we have 50,000 active users. So,
congratulations!
It was, thank you. And it's only because we used our own web properties and our own web presence to leverage that out of the gate. And then people just did what people do best, and they share their experiences on social media.
Well, what's cool about that is you used your own thing to build it, and so now you actually one of your own crash test dummies, so to speak, right? Yeah. You're like, exactly. It works. See, we're actually doing it. And how often do we see those ads of like, I went from 0 to this, and they were going to show you how to do it, and you guys are actually doing it. So that's amazing. And I can't wait to hear you speak at Social Media Marketing World in March. And thank you so much for being here. Is anything else I should touch on? I want to make sure we share with everybody.
No, I think we covered everything. If anybody has any questions or thinks of anything afterwards, I'll try and keep an eye on the comments section.
Oh, wait, Christine says, don't forget the plus. Oh, 50,000 plus. 50,000 plus. Make sure you throw that in there. Let's see. Oh, that's right. They do have an affiliate program. Warfare Plugins has an affiliate program. And if you're interested, I put a link to my affiliate link up there, livinglife.tv/warfare. If you're interested in finding out, checking into it. And then once you get in there, sign up for their affiliate program. I've got mine on there and I can't wait. I just put it on yesterday. I have no idea how to check it out or anything, but I'm going to learn all this stuff and I'm excited to see what I do with it. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Just dive in. If there's something you want to do, just dive in and do it. And I've really enjoyed having you here, Dustin, and everybody. Oh, it's freezing in Pennsylvania, apparently. Well, we don't know.
I'm from Pennsylvania, so I keep close tabs on it. It's cold there today.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, it's cold there quite often, right? It gets a little bit humid there at times.
It does. It gets humid in the summers, and we have to deal with tornado season and thunderstorms and.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's why I moved to California.
Yeah, come on over, Christine. We're looking for you. Okay, well, Dustin, have a great day, and then I'll see you again at Social Media Marketing World. And thank you for Warfare Plugins. I can't wait to see what I can do with it on mine. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. You'll be fine. Yes. It'll be great.
It looks simple. It looks simple, which I do appreciate because, you know, not everybody is computer savvy. And so we need these simple programs that we can just work, you know, just download them and let them do all the work for us, right?
Absolutely.
So what do we have here? You go, girl. Oh, thanks, Christine. It's good talking to you and meeting you. And I'll see you at Social Media Marketing World. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you here.